SaveSA Smelters says 80,000 more jobs are on the line in the sector in coming months. That's if government fails to impose a tax on the export of raw ore, as announced last October. Newzroom Africa's Pelane Phakgadi takes a look.
It was in October last year when President Cyril Ramaphosa delivered his economic reconstruction and recovery plan. In it, he announced measures to support the domestic ferrochrome industry. Among the measures would be an export tax on chrome ore. But since that time, no announcement has been made on when that tax will be imposed. Indonesia previously implemented a 100% tax on the export of raw ore, and within 3 years, the country overtook South Africa to be the world's biggest ferrochrome producer behind China. Now, South Africa held the pole position for many years. According to SaveSA Smelters, the lack of tax forces smelters to close down, bleeding more jobs.
We would like to reposition our country as the country of choice to the international investors in the steel and stainless steel value chain industry. As you know, in the past, we used to be very big in the supply of steel. We had a lot of metal plants, we had a lot of furnaces for ferrosilicon, ferrochrome, ferromanganese. We've lost a lot of these furnaces, which in turn, we've lost a lot of jobs.
The unemployment rate, according to the expanded definition of unemployment, increased by 0.6 of a percentage point to 43.2% in the first quarter of 2021. That is compared to the fourth quarter of 2020. The smelters business is also affected. One of those who lost their jobs is Phakgadi. He says the government's introduction of the tax could see him and his colleagues reclaiming their jobs.
If they implement the tax, then this will change our lives, specifically us as former employees and the number of undergraduates who are unemployed, who are staying at home.
The CEO of the Richards Bay Alloys, Andries van Heerden, says by delaying the tax imposition, government is possibly missing out on a 15 billion rand income stream. He adds that UG2 and LG6 minerals should be taxed at 80% and 20% respectively.
By quickly implementing a policy like this, which is not difficult to do, which will be governed by Treasury and SARS, of course, one could create, as you rightly said, billions of rand of tax revenue. We all know how that is needed in South Africa following the pandemic and the negative growth that we've seen in the country. But apart from that, we would potentially create another 3,000 immediate jobs in South Africa, just starting up idle capacity, and possibly another 8,000 to 9,000 indirect jobs in South Africa as well.
On the other hand, Chrome SA does not support the government's move to impose the tax. In a written response to Newzroom Afrika, the organization says from what it has observed and understood, the government's initiative to impose a tax on chrome ore export has stalled. Chrome SA sees no evidence of it being implemented. The organization further says there was no decision to implement the tax despite President Cyril Ramaphosa's announcement in October 2020. They feel the tax was being promoted by only 2 government departments and that the matter was only discussed at a single cabinet meeting without any action being taken. The Department of Trade and Industry has promised to respond on the progress made after the talks, when it intends to impose the tax and how much it will be. For Newzroom Africa, Channel 405, I'm Pelane Phakgadi in Johannesburg.